put the student part aside for a second, because we're going to get to that in a little bit. But the colleague part, the fact that so much of this is being driven by other professors. I mean, we saw this with Brett Weinstein at Evergreen State. Jordan and many of my other friends who are professors now tell me they often get support privately from professors, but not publicly, which is the most enraging. Gad tells me about this all the time. But what do you make of professors that are leading this? Well, the charge against inquiry and thought.
Well, they're true believers, I think, many of them. And well, some are true believers. They see themselves as part of a revolution that's absolutely necessary. They believe that our society is one of entrenched inequality and structural violence against women, against racial minorities, against indigenous peoples, against trans people, and all the claims, and so they see that any attempt to argue or against their positions or to simply call for more open discussion is a way of reasserting a very unjust, they would say, deathly status quo. And then a lot of people, I think, are not true believers, but are just going along for career reasons or because it's easier to go along. They just want to do their research, and they can only do it in peace if they say all the correct, platitudes. So, I mean, what happened was that I think gradually the idea of the university was destroyed. Whenever it started, how it happened, I mean, it seems to have started sometimes in the late 60s. Alan Bloom, I'm sure you've read The Closing of the American Mind. His claim is that professors lost faith in the idea of the university as a sort of separate space where you simply thought about things. You didn't get involved. And he has a wonderful line, I remember something about how Socrates felt that it was more important to think about justice and to really learn what justice is rather than try to implement whatever partial version of it, is roiling the public consciousness of the day. And so that was what the university had meant at its best, I think.
Right. So in a weird way, this is a case of where the university original mission of being a place to find truth and giving people the opportunity to think about these issues, debate these issues, et cetera, has taken a complete 180, because now it seems to be the breeding ground for the opposite of those ideas.
It is a breeding ground, for sure. I mean, it's where all of the indoctrination takes place. And then, of course, the students who are indoctrinated go out into all the major spheres of our society. They go to law school where they read critical legal theory that tells them that there's nothing unbiased or objective about the legal system that we have in North America, that it needs to be completely remade. They become journalists, and they go to journalism school where they learn the same thing, and they're told that a journalist should be somebody who attempts to improve and change society, make it better, rather than just report what's happening. They become teachers. They go into the education faculties where they're also being radicalized, and so it's not surprising that this is where we're at now.